Mm-hmm. So my first question would be, you live in Mexico, right? So I bet there is a great number of foreigners there, and I'd like to ask you about that, like which people from which countries you met, and is it easy to recognize them, and maybe about some making friends experience, something like that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, I live in the north of Mexico, near the border with USA. So here we have, especially in my city, we have a lot of factories, German factories, Korean factories.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't see a lot of foreigners in the city because they are like, I guess, working there on the fabrics, like outside the city, but in the hotels and sometimes walking in the street. Yeah, of course. I mean, you can you can see them and they are like super blonde with blue eyes, and you see like, okay, that guy or that girl, they are foreigners for sure. But yeah, here I think that they feel super welcome. It's super easy to make a friendship with a Mexican because we are very welcoming. We are like kind of territorial because we are super proud of being Mexicans and don't mess with Mexico.
Oh yeah,
But
I know that.
yeah, so yeah, but on the other side, it's kind of, yeah, if you see someone, like for example in a party, and they are looking a little bit lonely and perhaps foreigners, like there will be for sure someone that will approach them
Of
and,
course, no
hey, come.
chance of standing alone in the corner, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of, okay, come on, and yeah, I invite you to like a drink or something. So we are very welcoming and warm people. Yeah.
I know that. And so is it easy to differ them? Like, oh, I know for sure that that guy is German or that guy is Korean or something. Like maybe some, I'm not speaking about clothing, not overalls or something, just, I don't know, maybe habits, some lifestyle or something like that.
Well, yeah, for sure, but it's like, first the look, and then if you get to know them well, yes, of course. For example, the Koreans, I mean, Koreans, you can see that they are Koreans
How
or
about
Chinese
Chinese people? Can you differ
or
Chinese
Chinese.
people?
Okay, look, we have something very like, we see someone with their eyes like this, and we
Mhm.
will say, ah, that's a chinito, like a Chinese, and perhaps they are Japanese or they are Koreans or they are, I don't know, from another country, but yeah, we will say that Chinese. We don't know the difference like very well between the Asians, but yeah, I mean, lifestyle, yes, it's very different. It's very different, and it's very different inside Mexico. The lifestyle here in the north, it's very different from the lifestyle in the south or in the center of Mexico. So yeah, for foreigners, for sure, it's a lot of difference. But I think foreigners can get very well adapted to our lifestyle. It's like that.
How about, I bet that the climate in the north of Mexico is better than the climate in the central part, eh? It's probably
Well,
milder because I really, now I don't know what's the temperature is here right now, maybe 30 degrees Celsius or something, but it's like stiflingly hot for me right now. And I can't imagine what it's like in Mexico and in southern regions.
oh my God. I mean, right now I am melting. It's very hot. Here it's like I live in a semi-desertic zone area, so it's kind of a desert. There are no camels and no animals like that, but yeah, it's like super hot. But it depends actually, because here, also here in the north, for example, I live in a city, Saltillo, and here it's the climate is very different from a city 45 minutes away. It's like another kind of temperature climate there. For example, Monterrey, I don't know if you have heard of that city,
I've
but
heard,
Monterrey,
but I can't tell much about it.
yes, it's humid and it's like a
Oh, I
tropical.
hate humid.
Yeah, well,
Can't
I
breathe.
yeah, and here is very dry. Here is very dry.
That's
But for
great.
example, You know,
Well,
because
it's bad for gardening, I understand you, but it's easier to breathe.
no, well, you
Yeah.
smile and you have all the wrinkles marking your face because it's so
Oh,
yeah,
well,
and the sun, it pierces your skin and it's
that's
like,
harder
oh,
for you. I don't have to worry too much about my skin.
well, I mean, it's like an example, I don't know. But it's very different. For example, we have mountains and in winter it snows sometimes in the mountains, so it's cold here, it's cold. But in the summer it's very hot, and it's literally, we have every climate, like everything, every landscape, every climate, every dish in gastronomy. We have literally everything. It changes, like I told you before, like I'm 45 minutes away of the city, that it's almost like the jungle. I mean, not the city, but surroundings, the nature, it's very humid, it's very tropical, and here's like the desert, so it's crazy.
So I
It's
bet
hot.
there are still some animals there in desert. Can you easily spot
Or
them? Some buzzards, coyotes, stuff like that, eh?
yeah, we have coyotes. We also have bears in the mountains.
Bears?
Yeah, black bears. Yeah, a lot of black
I
bears.
think I know about those. They're really cute, like those, yeah, mountain bears, black and white. They,
Yeah.
I watched a documentary where such a bear cub, he was trying to fight a snake. It was super cute. Yeah.
Okay, no, well, these bears, like, okay, super cute if you look like from far away, the bear, like,
Yeah.
okay, but no, it's not very, I mean, I hope I will never be in front of a bird like that close. We have also jaguars in the south of Mexico, and
They're
crocodiles.
vicious, right?
Sorry?
They're vicious, aren't they? I mean, those pumas, mountain lions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Are there other like fights between men and those pumas? Or
Yeah, we have pumas here in the region, in the north or in the mountains. Jaguars are just in the south. I think jaguars are not, at least not very much here in the north. They're more in tropical.
so how about pumas? Are they like a real danger to remember about, or they just leave their place and leave people alone?
Sometimes, of course, they don't come to the city, but sometimes they go to ranch and eat like the sheep. Yeah, they are dangerous, but I don't know if, I mean, it's not like we fear them a lot, at least not here in the city, but I don't know, people living on a ranch in the countryside, perhaps they are very dangerous, yes?
Well, humans are more dangerous, I agree. Okay. Returning to the previous question, I've been learning Chinese for a long time. Well, I've been trying to learn it. And actually, I've been asked a lot, like, can I differ Chinese people from other Asians, like maybe Japanese or something? And I have a confession to make. Actually, I can't differ them. Although I tried to learn the language and culture for a long time, but I might have a feeling sometimes, but there is no guarantee that I'm right. And there were a couple of like funny stories when I at the fair, for example, I approached a foreigner and tried to speak to him in Chinese, and after a couple of misunderstandings, I was thinking to myself, wow, my Chinese is so bad, he can't understand me at all. But then all of a sudden he says to me in Russian, dude, I'm Vietnamese or something.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, no. I would just throw myself out through the window. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's really embarrassing, especially if you consider yourself a translator or something.
Sure, I mean, of course.
So,
Wow.
yeah. How about those foreigners again? Did you manage to make some friends with Germans, maybe?
Like friends, no, more like acquaintances, because they come here for jobs,
Yeah,
for
they're
their
real
job.
busy.
Yeah, so me personally, I didn't get to know foreigners so well, but yeah, I remember that once I was in it was like a bar or something, and yeah, there were some German guys there, and of course we were like partying with them, and it was
I think it
nice.
was like he found himself in paradise,
Like yeah,
like
I mean,
surrounded with pretty girls looking
yeah,
for his
so
attention.
yeah, so I didn't get the chance to get acquainted with yeah, with some foreigners, but I for sure there is more than one Mexican that did like became friends, real friends, true friends with some foreigners.
That's one thing that I like very much about Mexican culture. Is that people there are really friendly and open. And I've been talking to someone once, and they told me that Russians and Mexicans are alike in that. Maybe there are some differences, but on the whole, from the point of view of people from Europe, maybe we're open and friendly. Well,
Yeah.
maybe Russians are a bit more difficult to approach. They look glum at first, but when they try to make friends with you, you can feel that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
about your English, how do people learn English in Mexico? Like, what are the common ways, and what is your personal experience?
Okay, here the situation, it's like in the north, because there are many factories from other countries and also from USA. We at school, from school, we learn from kindergarten or even earlier.
Oh,
We
wow.
learn yes, it is like a must. If you want to have a good job here, you need to know at least English. So here in the north, it's like a must since kindergarten or before you start learning. Personally, I started learning at primary school, I think. Yeah, but we are listening now because we have a lot of influence from USA. We have a lot of programs and a lot of movies, and everything is in English. So it's kind of not that hard to learn English here in the north. I think perhaps in the south it's not that easy, like because they don't have that much influence from USA, but at least here in the north we have. So yeah.
So do people have to try some tutoring, some private learning, some maybe additional educational programs, or just the compulsory education is quite enough for that?
Sometimes it is enough, but there are lots of school and programs like individual personal tutoring. So it's kind of, yeah, it's easy. It's not that hard to learn English nowadays here
How
in the
about
north.
other languages? Like,
Sorry?
how about the other languages? I mean, English, okay, I understand that. How about the other
Yeah.
languages? Are they popular?
Yeah, French. I think it's the next popular to English, and perhaps German. It depends, but yes, I think between French, German, Italian, they are popular here. And
So
plus,
how about Chinese, Japanese, Korean?
Japanese not so much.
Not so much.
But Chinese, yeah, Chinese. It was a trend many years ago. I remember everyone like, I'm learning Chinese. So yeah, but I think it's more useful here, the French, and more Korean, I think, more than Chinese. But that's my guess. I'm not sure.
That's nice to hear, because I think the Mexican pattern seems to differ from the pattern in Europe, because from my experience talking to people in Europe, they seem to learn, maybe you've spotted it as well, they seem to learn like those Asian languages a lot, like Korean, Japanese, Chinese. Chinese is still a trend here and there also. And yeah. Why do you think people choose these languages in particular, like French and German? Well, German I can understand because it's the largest economy in the world, I mean in Europe. And like French, is it because it's a country of love, paradise?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but it's kind of useful, and it's not that hard for us.
Job purposes, right?
Yeah, because we have Spanish and French have the same roots, so it's not that hard. I mean, it's hard because it's another language, but it's not like that hard. I think German is harder, but I don't know if something has to do with the influence of France somehow here in Mexico, but I don't know.
You know, I was really surprised to find out that Spanish is more popular in the world than English. For a long time, I believe that English is like the most studied language in the world. And I was really surprised to come by the fact that in fact Spanish is more popular. And well, Chinese, there is no surprise there, but Spanish, yeah, I was really surprised.
Well,
it's a very, very, very popular language. And when I was talking to people from USA, they told me that it's a must to know Spanish there, because there is a great number of Spanish speaking people there, and you have to make friends, you have to make business. So yeah, it's a must. Like it's a must for us to study English. Oh, and by the way, Spanish is very popular these days in Russia as well. Many people try to learn it. I don't know why, because here in the Far East, there is no real chance of going to work to, I don't know, Mexico, Spain, right? But they still dream of trying to learn some Spanish someday, even though there are no real tutors here, because, well, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's obvious why not, but
it's interesting. Well, the Mexican culture is very attractive. Those movies and books, by the way. Do you have favorite Mexican writers, books, maybe movie titles, songs?
Well, you know, yeah, I mean, oh my God, there's so much material there. But actually, I think that movies, I mean, for me, the classics, like classics from the golden age of the Mexican cinema, it was like Pedro Infante, Jorge Negrete. Those actors were like I think that they were famous when my grandma was young. So, but I still like to watch those movies. I don't know why I like them so much. And they are like the kind of, yeah, the must if you want to know about Mexican cinema. Books, I'm not sure I have a favorite Mexican author, to tell you the truth. And about music, oh my God, I mean, I love mariachi music. It's kind of, oh my God, I like it so much. And we have a lot of singers, actually. Yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, well, actually, it's the same with me, because I really, really like old Soviet movies. Like they were shot in I think in 60s, in 50s. So they're supposed to be really old by now, and many people didn't even hear of those. But they're still my favorite, because I don't think that modern movies, they have a chance of competing with those, because the quality is just unbelievable. So I understand it, and I'd like to get 3 or maybe 5 titles of those prized old movies, you know, old Mexican movies. Do you have in mind like 3 to 5 titles to recommend?
Yeah, perhaps I have Dos tipos de cuidado. I don't know in English how, because they
it's
change.
Okay. I think, like I said, a lot of people are interested in Spanish, so and
yeah. Dos tipos de cuidado. It's like a very funny movie of Pedro Infante. Another one could be, let me think. I think they're all from Pedro Infante and Jorge Negrete, but Los Tres García, Los Tres Huastecos. There are 2 more movies, and I cannot remember another movie, but I mean, just Pedro Infante and
I think it's more than enough for the starters. I mean, to start the journey, to go deeper. Yeah. So okay, let's go further.
Okay.
So about the fashion, that's one of my favorite questions, perhaps.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been watching this YouTube video, and this Chinese girl, she was saying that in Chinese there is a very peculiar fashion, like girls have to look like children to be popular. Like yeah, their features, yeah, they have to be childlike. Yeah, she said it was a bit peculiar, and I agree. It's not what is popular here in Russia, but some standards are universal. Maybe I mean those lips and other private parts, you know, surgical corrections, whatever. So, what's the situation in Mexico? Like, what people like to see, and what is popular, and what people consider I don't know. Are there alterings people consider making if they have a chance? Like here, I had a chance of overhearing some dialects, like two girls, co-workers. They were talking to themselves and between themselves, and I overheard that they had dreams. Like if they had enough money, they were going to make these surgical donations. I'm not saying that it's popular because to make myself clear, I myself do not approve any such alterings here. I don't even like changing the hair color. Yeah, old school, you know. But I'm saying that it exists. So, what's your private opinion, and what's the situation around you?
Well, here everything we have on trend. It's what's on trend in USA. So yeah, and because we are Latinas, and it's perhaps our style, it's, I should say, sexier than, for example, Asia. We have another standards, but yeah, it's, you know what happens here is like, yeah, everyone dyes their hair. I think I'm the only girl that has natural hair. I'm joking, but yeah, I'm the.
I admire you very much for that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, but it's, you know, it's everyone. It's like what's in trend in USA, it's in trend here. So yeah, it's the same. I don't know, surgical, like plastic surgeries. I'm not sure if they are such a trend today here, but I think they will be soon if we go the same way. It's like everyone wants to be an Instagram model and all that stuff, you know, and
Yeah,
we,
it's the same here. So how
yeah,
about those lipstick, eye shading, stuff like that?
we use a lot of we are like very exuberant and exotic, I should say, in general. So yeah, we like a lot of makeup. In general, personally, I don't like a lot of makeup, but in general, yes, like the lipsticks, and we use like a lot of kinds of colors of lipsticks. But yeah, like big lips are now in trend, and dark eyeshadows. For example, it is like a must in the beauty, even inside beauty trend. If you have a very I don't know, dark eyeshadow for makeup, your lips should be not very red, for example, should be like more kind of natural, I should say. But yeah, it's like that. We in general, Latinas, we like a lot of makeup, and yeah, to be exuberant. That's that's it.
Yes, well, very bright people, very good looking, so very attractive. I think everyone knows that. So the next question about karate. I naturally adore this hobby of yours. Yeah, because I'm somewhat of a madman about those, you know, that kind of stuff, like, well, wushu and all that. Yeah. So how did you come by it, and how did it change your lifestyle? And the most interesting question for me is like, it's rather a hard, difficult, and tough kind of sport. So how can you manage to do it, to practice it at the same time, with practicing some music, because fingers, they're very fragile, right? So I think it's very difficult.
Yeah, well, you know, I wanted to be in karate since I was a child, but because me and my siblings, well, we got into fights, like real fights.
I love hearing that.
My mom, when I told her like I want to be in karate, she thought that I would kill my siblings if I
yeah. I can
yeah.
see it in you.
So it's kind of, she waited, but then she went to this kind of conference of a doctor, very famous doctor here in Mexico, very good one, and she said that karate is wonderful. So my mom decided to let me get into karate, and that's how I started. Actually, I started very old. I started at 17, and I remember that I was in the class with the girls and the boys of, I don't know, 8 years old. So at first it was very difficult. It was very difficult for me because
to find a match to practice with.
Yeah, it's humiliating that, yeah.
I'm familiar with that kind of experience, actually.
So yeah, but then I started like passing all the exams and all that stuff, and I really liked it because it kinds of mold your character, and it makes you stronger somehow, on mind and self-controlled and discipline, but at the same time it's like a lifestyle. So my teacher, it's a Japanese. He came from Japan when he was 23 years old, and now he, yeah, so now he's, I don't know, more than 60 years old. So yeah, so it's kind of very impressive to see him so strong, and then yeah, like I want to be like him for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm actually afraid of you. How about your siblings? Are they still alive? I'd like to say hi to them.
They are alive.
Yeah.